So I was browsing on eBay a little while ago and I noticed someone had posted an auction that had like 80 books in it. And with shipping, it was going to be around $1 a piece. And it kind of caught my interest. And I started looking through the pictures. And a lot of these books are in really bad shape. But I went down and read the description. And I'll go ahead and post a screenshot of the description. But this seller had apparently got a hold of 2,500 books from someone. And they were posting them all on eBay in lots between 60 and 80 books. And they were kind of priced to sell. And it kind of intrigued my interest. And I clicked on their other items and I got this big wall of auctions of 60 to 80 books in each lot. Now, the second one I clicked on, I was blown away. I saw something or a few things in these pictures that I was just kind of like, no way. And I'll show you some very kind of broad pictures here. Maybe you'll be able to pick out some of the books that really caught my attention. But I kind of, in a bit of haste, I went ahead and just bought this lot of books. It was just over 80 bucks when you included shipping, and it was $80 books. And I knew this was gonna be a gamble because this person said these books had been in storage for a really long time. They smelled bad. But the auction that I bought, a lot of the books looked like they were in pretty good shape, especially the ones that I wanted. So I'm going to be doing an unboxing. I just got the box from the seller. It is sealed. You'll have to trust me that I didn't do any shenanigans here. But I'm going to go through and pull these out. You'll get my initial kind of reaction to see if this was a good deal or not. Some of the books that are in here could go for a lot, but it's always about condition. And with the description that this seller put, this was definitely a gamble. And let's just kind of break into this box and see what I got. Okay, one of the things they said was these had a real musty smell. So that's the first thing I'm going to be looking for when I open this box. It doesn't smell too bad. I was thinking maybe a blast of, something really nasty in the face, but this isn't too bad so far. And I'm going to kind of pull these out at random. If I see some of the really good books, I might hold those and kind of save them for the end. But here we go with a Keith Laumer, The Long Twilight. And you can see a lot of the books suffered from this. Obviously, the person had them in storage in boxes like this, probably stacked all on top of each other. And a lot of the books have this really bad bend to them. And I think this can be corrected a little bit, but it might take some work. It might take a press. If anyone has had success straightening out these books, let me know. There's also some boxing on the top. You could see that. But other than that, this book looks unread. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have like a discard pile. I'm going to put the books that I think are worth keeping here and maybe kind of the prized possessions here. Now here's a Brian Aldiss, the Malacia Tapestry. This is a book that I have. Once again, just really bowed, but a pretty intact spine. Definitely a little dirty. Definitely has an aroma. I think that's not that. Some of these are probably going to get donated. Michael Cube McDonald. I think I have one book from him. Another one that's really bent. Not too interested in that. Okay, Shards of Honor, Louis McMaster Bujold. This is a book I have in good shape. This one is suffering from a little bit of that bend, but it's not as bad as those other ones. Definitely some foxing. Not one I'm going to want to probably keep. The Change War by Fritz Leiber. This one looks like it's in pretty good shape, but once again, that kind of warping. That one isn't as bad though. Okay, there's a lot of books here. I'm going to try to kind of crank through ones that I don't think are so good. This is one I've never seen, War Child, Richard Bowes. This is a Quest Star. All in pretty good shape except for the foxing and the warping. That seems to be the theme so far. CJ Cherry, The Faded Sun. This is a DAW, and this is one that I already have. This one isn't quite as bad as some of the others. Still, I think I have one that's in better condition. Now here's Gregory Benford Timescape. You'll see these all over the place. Now, I did notice in the picture, this one is just missing tons of pieces of the cover. So far, not looking so good. Ambrove Keon. This is a later DAW. Never seen this before. A bit warped. Kenneth Bulmer, The Diamond Contessa. Now this one definitely has an extra kind of wrinkle in there and a price sticker. It's a DAW. Like I'm saying, if there is a way to straighten some of these out, then a lot of these could be salvageable. Okay, this is one of the ones that I saw that I know is pretty valuable. I don't know that I really want to keep it because of its history, but this is Space Revelation or Space Relations by Donald Barr. This was a book that this author was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and supposedly this is almost like a how-to novel to be naughty. It is definitely kind of a little warped, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Clean cover. And this book can go for quite a lot. I'm going to set that over here for right now. Okay. Another CJ Cherry. This is one that I had before. Smuggler's Gold. Merowyn's Nights, I believe. This one's actually in pretty good shape. It's just this corner's a little warped. Not sure I want to keep that. Gregory Benford, The Stars in Shroud. This one looks like it was stuck to the Timescape book. You can see that. Definitely stuck together. So, Humid Climate. Clifford Simic, Time and Again. This one actually looks like it's in decent shape. You can see where it was maybe stuck to the book in front of it a little bit. And there's some of that, but this one's not too bad. Put that here in the maybe pile. Here's a Bane. This is Speaker to Heaven. Anael Noel. Haven't heard of this author before. Another one, a little on the warp side. Another from Donald Barr. So he's the author who wrote Space Relations. This is A Planet in Arms. I don't know if this has any value. This looks like a Star Trek ripoff. Maybe I need to send that to Tim at Secret Fire Books. He's going to be the authority on Star Trek ripoffs. Mary Zimmer Bradley, Darkover Landfall. Now this one is pretty flat, so a little dirty, and I don't have a lot of interest in collecting Bradley, but getting some okay ones. Envoy to New Worlds. This is a ace double from Laumer, and then Robert Williams' Flight from Yesterday. Now the backside of that's missing a lot, so that's not in the best shape. Galactic Odyssey by Keith Laumer. This is from Tor. Not too shabby. I'll look into that one. I don't know if I'm going to keep that, but then Edgar Rice Burroughs' Garson of Venus. This is one of those small format ace books that looks to be in pretty good shape. I might put that over here. Griffin by Crawford Killian. This is from Del Rey Books. This is one that looks okay, but definitely want to look that one up. I haven't heard of that author. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through these pretty quick. There's still a lot of books. Greg Bear, Beyond Heaven's River. This is one that's definitely a little wavy. And I think I might have that one. Murray Leinster, the Med series. This looks like it could be an omnibus of a series. I have to look into that one. Here's a double from Lloyd Biggle Jr. We got The Angry Espers. And on the other side, we have Robert Lowness, The Puzzle Planet. And this one's in okay shape. I might pull that aside. The Masters of Solitude, Avon Books. You gotta love those Avon books with the painted text block. Not too bad. Would have to look into that one. I'll put that on the maybe pile. Omnivore by Piers Anthony. This one actually has just a slight bend. Other than that, this one looks pretty clean. I think I have this one, but I'll have to see which one's in better condition. Thousand Star by Piers Anthony, another from Avon Books. And another Warper. James H. Schmidt, Agent of Vega from Ace. This one actually looks really clean, besides a little bend in it, but I'm going to keep that over here. Dean Ing, Systematic Shock from Ace Books. There's not many science fiction authors with the last name starting with I. I didn't have anything from Ing before, but I'm going to have to look that one up, see if that's worth keeping. Okay, Brian Ball, The Regiments of Night. This one is a DAW that I didn't have. Looks like a reprint, but this one looks in great condition. This is definitely a keeper. And look at that cover. Yeah, that's a keeper. Scott Baker, Symbiote's Crown. Don't know too much about Scott Baker. This one's actually in pretty good shape. I'm going to have to look into that one. Pierre Barbet, The Napoleons of Irradians. This one's definitely warped. Put that to the side. Gregory Benford, Across the Sea of Stars, or Suns. This one's pretty clean, besides a little smudging there on the bottom. Put this to the side here. Lewis McMaster, Bujal, Ethan of Athos. I'm not sure if I have this one. This is Bane. This one's clean and flat. I can easily get that price sticker off, so I'll keep that over here. This is one I recently got. This is another Scott Baker. This is a Timescape of Dampier. This one does have a little bit of a bend, but it's got a really great cover on that one. Put that to the side since I already have it. Okay, let's see. We're almost halfway through. There's a lot of books here. The Moon Men from Edgar Rice Burroughs. Small format Ace here. This one's flat. That one looks pretty good. Keep that over here. The Warrior's Apprentice, another Lois McMaster Bujal. Some foxing definitely on the edges and the text block, but I'll have to look and see if my copy's better. Okay, here's the main one I got. I'm going to hold that off for last. Omega Point Trilogy, George Zabrowski. This one's decent, a little warping. I think I already have that one. I'm going to have to look into that. Synthetic Man of Mars, Edgar Rice Burroughs. They took care of their burrows. I'll keep that over here. Frederick Pohl, The Coming of the Quantum Cats. I do have this one, and this one is pretty warped. I'm going to have a lot of books to put in the little libraries around here, I think. Colin Capp's Search for the Sun. This is one I didn't have. Little wavy. Okay, I guess I'll pull this one out. This is one I've been looking for. This is a Timescape that can be a little hard to find. And this one looks like it's in pretty good shape. This is George R.R. Martin, Dying of the Light from Timescape. This one looks pretty clean. There's no foxing, a very slight waviness. I think I can easily, I've fixed books like that. It's just the extreme wavy ones that I've had trouble with. This was a timescape I was missing and can be a little pricey if you go out looking to just buy it. So really glad to find that. The Postman by David Brin. This is one I had, but I'll have to check the printing. This one's in good shape. I might keep this. And it kind of has that keyhole cover. I'll have to see which one's in better shape. Poul Anderson, The Game of Empire. I don't think I have this one. It's a little wavy, but I'll put that to the side. Some more Edgar Rice Burroughs. Now this one's a little beat up here. Probably won't keep that. The Warlord of Mars. And then John Carter of Mars. This one is definitely missing a bunch off the back. I'm not going to keep that. Okay, we got 3 stacks left here. We're getting there. Catherine Kurtz, The Chamber the Heretic. This one looks okay, but it definitely got stuck to another book. These must have been in a humid climate. Foundation by Asimov. I have this one, I think, in better shape than this. Wavy. M.J. Ang, Arslan. Never heard of this, from Tor. Another wavy one. Bummed on this. I've been looking for a good copy of this. Brian Aldiss, Who Can Replace a Man? This is a collection of short stories, but it's definitely like missing a big chunk of the cover there. Greg Bear, Blood Music. Love this cover of this book, but it is extremely warped, and I do have a first printing paperback that's signed by Bear, so probably won't be keeping that one. Piers Anthony, Viscous Circle. This one's seen better days. Definitely was stuck to a couple books and very warped. A Spell for Chameleon from Piers Anthony. Warped. No good there. Here's an ace double that's just pretty much destroyed. Won't be keeping that. This one, yeah, I'll be keeping this. Brian M. Ball, Timepiece. This is a Ballantine book. And this one looks to be in really good shape. No foxing, really. A little bit on the bottom. But, yeah, I'll be keeping that. Robert Adams, Horse Clan's Odyssey. I don't know much about this. That might be a keeper, but I'll have to look into that. And then Robot City. These are Asimov's, this one was written by Rob Chilson, so they licensed some stories out to other authors. Sterling Lanier's Hero's Journey. This one's in pretty good shape. I've heard Richard Rempel talk about this series. I'll have to see which book this is, but this is in pretty good shape. I'm definitely keeping that one. Piers Anthony, Triple Dante. Detante? I don't know. He wrote a lot of books. That one's a little beat up. Elizabeth Moon, Liar's Oath. This one isn't in the worst condition, but I'd have to look that one up. Here's another Pierre Barbet, Baphomet's Meteor. I think I have this one, this DAW. This is a DAW 35. This one's in pretty good shape, though. But I think the one I have is in better shape. Another DAW from Pierre Barbet, The Emperor of Eurydice. Didn't have this DAW, but definitely warped. C.J. Cherry, The Faded Sun. Changer. I don't think I have this one, and this one's in pretty good shape. This is DAW 333, so probably hang on to that. Here's a Dean Ing, The Big Lifters. Like I said, I don't have any Ing yet, and it's a little warped, but not too bad. I'll have to look that one up. The year's best fantasy and science fiction, 8th edition. This is a small format ace here. This one actually looks to be in good shape, except a little foxing on the bottom. I'm probably going to be keeping that. Here's one that I was definitely looking for in this lot. I've been trying to get all these Barrington J. Baileys. This is The Fall of Chronopolis, DAW number 105. And this one looks to be in great shape. I'm really happy that this one is one that's in good shape. So definitely keeping that one. Darkhold by Jerry Earl Brown. Don't know much about this one. This one's in good shape. It's not twisted or anything, but I'll have to look that one up. Cyclone by Greg Bear. I do have a copy of this. This one is in great shape. I'll have to compare maybe printings and decide which one I'm going to keep there. Esther Friesen, Demon Blues. This one's in good shape, but don't know anything about Esther. Have to look that up. Here's one of the other ones. I could tell from the picture, Octavia Butler, Adulthood writes, I could tell this one was warped pretty bad, and it is, but other than that, it's clean, and it is a first printing. So man, if I can figure out how to flatten some of these books, this would definitely be a keeper. I'm still going to keep this in the pile. That can go for a bit of money. Whiteford, Lake of the Sun. Don't know anything about this author. Slight bend, but Gary Brander, Zero, or Energy Zero. Another one, I've never heard of this author. Definitely some fading. It's a zebra book. Really cool cover though, actually. I'll have to look that up. It's got a little bend. That could easily be fixed, I think. Jeffrey Archer, Cain and Abel. This is definitely not science fiction. So I might throw this across the room. Just kidding. Okay, the last little stack, and then I got the prized possession, why I got this whole lot mostly. Martin Candon, Prisoner Ship. This thing is a mess. Yeah, not keeping that. This is one I saw and I was interested in, Lloyd Biggle Jr. Monument. Definitely was stuck to another book, even though it doesn't have quite the warping the other ones had. I think I have a better copy of that one. Scott Baker Fire Dance. This one looks pretty cool. This says it's Tor Fantasy. I'm going to have to look up Scott Baker. There's quite a few of him in here. This person obviously didn't read a lot of these books and just threw them in storage, and kind of sad. Tim Powers, author of the Anubis Gates. This is Forsake the Sky. I don't have anything from Tim Powers, and I haven't read anything from him yet. That one just has a slight kind of bend. I could probably keep that. Spirit of Dorsai, I have a better copy of this by Gordon Dixon. It does have a bit of a bend. Piers Anthony, Split Affinity. This one is not in good shape. And let's get to this last book. I spotted this, and I could see some damage in some spots, but what was in this box is The Running Man. This is a Bachman book. The spine on this one is in great shape. This one doesn't have too much foxing or too much warping, but it was definitely stuck to another book and they pulled them apart. And I think there was only one ever printing of this. Yes, this is the first printing. I think even in this state, this book is probably worth well over what I paid for this whole box. And I used to have all 4 Bachman books, including Rage, back when I was collecting a long time ago. Now that I'm a paperback collector, I would love to have all these. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one, maybe as a stand-in in case I ever find a better copy in the future. But it's actually in not that bad a shape. I'm pretty happy overall. But now I've got a lot of books I don't really know what I'm going to do with. Like I said, I think I'm going to be donating a lot of these. Some of them probably are going to get thrown away. And I got a nice little stack here of some books that I'd kind of been looking for, and luckily, the ones I was looking for the most seemed to be in some of the best shape. Maybe the collector knew that these were better books, or who knows. But you know, it's interesting. You gamble sometimes like this. The person when they put all those auctions up, I put them all in my watch list. They ended up doing like a better offer to everybody that was watching them. I think over half of them had sold. A lot of people were buying them. A lot of the books were in really bad condition. I don't think I poured through to make sure that there wasn't a Rage or another Bachman books in any of the other auctions, and I didn't see anything that really jumped out at me. But this person was obviously selling them, and you know, maybe someone got even better ones before I discovered this seller. But you know, I would call this a win, I think, for sure. I think I'm happy with the purchase. I got a lot of books to go through and decide which ones I'm going to keep, but just kind of a fun little thing. I thought I'd bring you guys along when doing something like this, and hope you enjoyed it. So that'll do it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.